Today I'm going to show you how to make these cute little crocheted hats that'll fit a 9-month to a 12-month-year-old. So the one here on my left, I bought it as a kit that had this cute little polyfilled topper, little kitty cat topper. I'll show you more about that kit in just a moment. And this one, I made the pom-pom myself. Check out the comment section down below and I'll give you the link to the video that I have already made to show you how to make your own pom-poms. All I did was crocheted the hat and I sewed on the pom-pom and secured the topper. If you don't want to do the pom-poms, the hat are super cute even without them. So let's get started and I'll show you everything you need in order to make these darling little hats. These are the supplies that I'm going to use today to make the hat. I found this cute little crochet knitting kit at Michael's. It has a polyfilled character. This one is a little kitty cat. There were several to choose from. There were, I saw one with a dog, an elephant, a zebra. So there's a lot of different little options if you want to check out online at Michael's. You can do this exact same thing with some yarn that you already have, and you can make a pom-pom and put that on top. I'll put a link below in the comment section. I have a video already that can show you how to make your own pom-poms, and you can do that and put it on top of this hat. It would look super cute. This yarn, let me pull this apart here so I can show you. This yarn it's 114 yards of yarn. So it's a pink variegated and it's a size 6 bulky. You could also do the same thing with some worsted weight, I believe, if you use just a little bit bigger crochet needle. I'm going to use a size J 5.75 millimeter crochet hook. Got some yarn markers, yarn needle, and some scissors. This is the start of round 1. So at first, just to let you know, disclaimer, it's going to be a little awkward at first if you haven't done this before. So this is your yarn tail, and on my right hand here, this is your working yarn. That's the yarn that's coming off the ball of yarn back here that you're going to be pulling from. So you're going to take this yarn and let that yarn tail hang down here, and you're going to wrap that yarn around your forefinger just like that. And I like to put my thumb there, and I like to hold that yarn back here out of the way. See, I'm just going to hold it down. Now I'm going to take my hook and I'm going to put it through that loop that's on my finger. Right here is your working yarn back here. So I'm holding it down. I'm going to put it through the loop that's on my finger, and I'm going to grab that working yarn and pull it through. See, it's on my hook now. See here how it is back here on the back? I'm going to go back in the back and I'm going to grab that yarn over and pull it through the loop that's on my hook. That right there is a chain. We just did a chain. Now the next thing we're going to do is a single crochet. Very simple. I'm going to pull my finger out of this hole here, of this loop, and I'm going to hold my yarn tail and that loop together right here. Okay, first let me put my yarn on my finger. And this is my working yarn, and I'm going to hold that loop together with my yarn tail. Okay, now I'm going to stick my hook through this loop, and I'm going to, while I'm holding that yarn and that yarn tail, I'm going to yarn over and pull it through. I've got 2 loops on my hook, and I'm going to yarn over and I'm going to make a single crochet. That's the first stitch of round 1. I'm going to mark the top of that loop right there. It looks like a V. See it? Going to mark it with my yarn marker. Now we're going to make 6 more single crochets in the middle of this loop. While we're holding on to this yarn and this yarn tail here, we're going to make 6 more single crochets. We're going to go into that loop. We're going to yarn over and pull it through. 2 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull it through both loops. That's number 2. You're going to do 7 total. So we've already done 2. We need to do 5 more. So go through the loop while you're holding it. Yarn over, pull it through. That's 3. That's 4. And this is 5. Like I said, it's going to be a little awkward at first. and this is 6, and then this is 7. 7 total single crochets. Now, you see this yarn tail? What we're going to do is we're going to pull it. And what it's going to do, it's going to pull together those single crochets you did. And see now how it's becoming a circle. What we're going to do is we're going to take this yarn marker off and we're going to do a slip stitch. And that's going to close up our first round. So go right there in the top of that first single crochet that we did as we started. Get my hook through there. And I'm going to yarn over and pull it through, and then I'm going to pull it through the loop on my hook. So that's a slip stitch. So that finished round 1. Now I'm going to take this yarn back here, this yarn tail, and I'm going to pull it a little bit and get it tight and get those stitches together there. And that is round 1. Once we go a little further, I'll sew in this tail and it'll never be seen again. But right now we're just going to let it hang. Now let's go ahead and get started on round number 2. We're going to do a chain. We're going to do a half double crochet right into that stitch where we did our slip stitch on the row before, right there. Okay, we're going to do a half double crochet. So yarn over and put your hook right through that space where you did your slip stitch on the round before. Pull your yarn through, and you're going to yarn over and pull it through all 3 loops on your hook. That's a half double crochet. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark that half double crochet that I just completed. You see right here where there's 2 pieces of yarn, looks like a V. That's the top of that stitch. I'm going to put my yarn marker right into it, and when we come all the way around, we'll easily be able to know where we need to close off that round that we just are about to finish, or start and finish rather. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to do 2 half double crochets into all of the next 6 single crochets all the way around. So into our top of our next stitch right here, we're going to put 2 half double crochets. So we're going to yarn over and put it through that loop, yarn over and pull it through all 3 loops on the hook. We're going to yarn over, put it through the same stitch, yarn over and pull it through all 3 loops on the hook. And we're going to do 2 half double crochets into the next 6 single crochets. So go ahead and I'll see you once you get all the way back around to that stitch marker. And now what we're going to do is go right into that stitch that we started from. We're going to yarn over and put our hook right into that stitch, and we're going to do 1 half double crochet. Once we do that, we're going to close off our round and finish off round 2. So take out our yarn marker, and right where that yarn marker is, we're going to put our hook right in the top of that stitch, and we're going to do a slip stitch. So pull the yarn through and then pull the yarn through the loop on the hook. So that closes off round number 2. And we're about to start on round number 3. So we're going to chain 1, and right there in that stitch that we just did our slip stitch in on the prior round to close it off, we're going to do a half double crochet right into that stitch. So go into that, yarn over and pull it through. Got 3 loops on our hook, and we're going to yarn over and pull it through all 3 loops on our hook. The next thing that we need to do for round 3, we're going to put a half double crochet into the next stitch right after. So we're going to yarn over and pull it through the top of that loop, and we're going to yarn over and pull it through all 3 loops. That's a half double crochet. Now we're going to put 2 half double crochets into the next stitch right here next to it. So yarn over and put your hook through there, and we're going to put 2. And then in the next stitch, we're going to put 1 half double crochet. And the next stitch, we're going to put 2. And we're going to alternate. Put 2, and then in the next one, we're going to put 1. And then the next stitch, we're going to put 2 half double crochets. If your hook's hard to get through, that means you're crocheting a little too tight, and I can see that I am, so I'm going to try to loosen up here. Oops. Do that again. I was supposed to put 2 there and messed up. Yarn over and pull it through. And then the next one we're going to put 1. And then the next one we're going to put 2. I can tell that my tension's a little too tight here. So if you find that it's a little difficult, that's probably what it is. In the next stitch we're going to put 1. And then the next we're going to put 2. We're going to put 1. And we're going to put 2. And then we're going to put 1. And now we're back around to where we started. Now that I'm all the way back around, I can see that I did not put my stitch marker in. So let me show you where we're going to end it. You see right here, that's the first stitch that we made on that round earlier when we started. And we're going to put our hook into and do a half double crochet right into where we started from before, that first stitch where we started that round. So yarn over and pull it through and put a half double crochet, and then I'm going to slip stitch right in the top of that first stitch when we started the row. So now we're going to start round 4. So we're going to chain, and we're going to do a half double crochet right into where we did our slip stitch right there on our where we ended off. Go right into that stitch and do a half double crochet, and I'm going to mark that stitch so it's just easy for me to remember. We're going to put 1 half double crochet into each of the next two stitches there. So we're going to put a half double crochet into this stitch, and then we're going to put a half double crochet into the next stitch. So now we're going to put 2 half double crochets into the next stitch, and that's going to be our pattern that we're going to alternate going forward here. We're going to put 2, then we're going to put 1 half double crochet into the next 2 stitches. So 1 here, and then we're going to go to the next stitch and do 1. And then we're going to go to the next stitch and we're going to do 2. Now into the next 2 stitches, we're going to do 1 in each of those. So 1 there, and then into the next stitch we'll do 1. And into the next stitch we're going to do 2. And then into the next 2 stitches we'll do 1 each. So there's 1, go to the next stitch, there's another 1, and into this next stitch we're going to do 2. 2 half double crochets. This is one of my favorite stitches, is half double crochet, my easy beginner stitches. So into the next 2 stitches we'll do 1 each. And then the next stitch we'll do 2 into that stitch. So there's 1, goes back into it and do another one. And then the next 2 stitches we'll do 1 each. And we'll do 2. And then we'll do 1 into each of the next 2 stitches. All right, we're back around. So at this end, we're going to go into the stitch where we started from and do a half double crochet right into that stitch where we started. And then we're going to close off this round with a slip stitch right into the top of that stitch there. So yarn over, pull it through, and through the other loop. That's a slip stitch. And now we're going to start round 5. So we're going to chain 1, and we're going to do a half double crochet right into that stitch where we did our slip stitch in on the round before. And I'm going to mark that stitch off with my row marker. So in the next 3 half double crochets, we're going to put 1 half double crochet into each one of those. So we're going to, there's 1, go to the next stitch, we're going to do 1. The next stitch, we're going to do 1. Now we're going to do 2 into the next stitch. And that's our increase. So we're going to do 2 here. And then into the next 3 stitches, we'll do 1 each. So there's 1. And here's 1. And into the next stitch, there's 1. And into the next stitch, we're going to do 2. So when you're doing those 2 stitches into the same loop, that is your increase. That's causing that, cause that hat, how it's growing and stretching out, getting bigger. That's what that's doing. I believe there's 3. Okay, we needed to do 1 more there. Double crochet into the next 3. I'll go ahead and do the rounds with you so that you won't feel left behind or confused. So into the next stitch, we're going to put 2. And into the next 3 stitches, we're going to put 1 each. So there's 1, go to the next, there's 1, go to the next, there's 1, and then in the next one we're going to put 2, and then in the next one, next 3, we're going to put 1 each. So 1, there's 1, I just love this pink, and there's 1. In the next stitch, we're going to put 2. Once we get, I think, 1 more round, then you'll be able to do more of this on your own without having to listen and watch me, where it's not so tedious. So in the next 3 stitches, you're going to do 1 each. Oops. My hook came out. Okay, go into the next one. Okay, all right, into the next, let me count them here. There's 2 and then there's 3. Okay, in the next stitch we're going to put 2. Oops. There we go. In the next 3 we're going to put 1 each. 1, 2, and then go on the next one. 3, that's the 3rd. Okay, now we're all the way back around. I just did 3. Now I'm going to go into the spot where I first started, and I'm going to put another half double crochet into where we first started in that slip stitch right there. And then we'll join and close off that round. So take out my row marker. Right there where my row marker is, I'm going to put my hook in there and do a slip stitch. And right there, closed off round number 5. Okay, isn't that pretty? We're going to put a half double crochet into the same stitch that we closed off on. Let's get that done. and get my row marker in there so we can mark it. And then I'll tell you what the pattern's going to be, and then you can do this round on your own, and when you get back around you'll be able to just come back online to the video and we'll show you how to do the next round. But round 6 is you chained 1, you did a half double crochet there. Now into the next 4 stitches we're going to put 1 half double crochet each. So we're going to put 1, go to the next one, put 1, go to the next one, put 1, go to the next one, put 1, and then we're going to do 2. So every 5th stitch you're going to have 2. Okay, so 1, go to the next stitch, go do 1, go to the next stitch, do 1, and to the next stitch, do 1. Okay, onto the 5th stitch, you're going to do 2 into the same stitch. So there's 1 into that stitch, and then go back into it and do another one. Now into the next 4 half double crochets, you're going to put 1 each. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then on the 5th one, you're going to put 2. When you're done with those 2, you're going to go 4 more, where you're going to do 1, go to the next one, and do 1 stitch into the next 4, and then on the 5th stitch, you're going to do 2, and you're going to alternate that all the way around until you get to the end, and then we'll close off. I'll show you how to close off. So see you back here in just a second, and we'll finish up round 6. I've just finished my last 4 half double crochets into those stitches. Now I'm going to do my last stitch on the round. I'm going to go right into the same stitch I started from, do a half double crochet into that space. So there's 2 there now. And I'm going to take my row marker off, and I'm going to do a slip stitch right there in the top of that stitch. And fasten it off here with a slip stitch. And then I'm going to chain 1. Now we're about to start round number 7. Now I'm going to half double crochet into that same stitch where I just did my slip stitch, and yarn over and pull it through, and that's my first, and I'm going to close off the round when I get all the way back around. Okay, so we're going to do a half double crochet into the next 10 stitches. So we're going to do 1 in each of the next 10 stitches. When we get to our 11th stitch, we're going to do 2. Okay, so into the next 10 stitches, I want you to do a half double crochet, and then into the 11th stitch, I want you to do 2. So go ahead and do that, and I'll see you there in just a second. All right, now we're to our 11th stitch, and we're going to put 2 half double crochets into that 11th stitch. Okay, so now what we're going to do is into the next 9 stitches, I want you to do 1 half double crochet into each one. So 1 half double crochet into the next 9 stitches, and then on the 10th stitch, I want you to do 2. We're going to alternate that all the way around. So 1 into the next 9, and then the 10th stitch you're going to do 2, 1 into the next 9, and the 10th stitch you're going to do 2, and I'll see you when you get back all the way around to the beginning where this row marker is. I've made it all the way around, and I just finished my 9th half double crochet. Now I'm going to go here, go into the bottom of that stitch and do another half double crochet, so that makes 2 of them there into that stitch, and then we're going to close it off by removing that row marker, put my hook in the top, do a slip stitch, pull it through there, and that finishes off round number 7. This right here is the crown. This is the top of the head. Okay, so now we're going to make the body of the hat where it's going to come down. I'm going to show you how to do this first round of the body, and then every round after that it's going to be the exact same pattern throughout until your hat measures a total of 7 inches from the top here until to the bottom. Right now, if I measured, if you look on my measuring table here, you're going to see that it measures 3 inches. So when you're done, it should be out here to about till 7 inches, and that's how long it should be. from the top to the bottom. Okay, so let's go ahead and do our round for our body. So you're going to chain 1, okay, and then you're going to do a double crochet into the same stitch right here where we just closed off and fastened off our last, joined our last round. So a double crochet. So you're going to yarn over and put your hook right into that stitch. You're going to yarn over and pull your hook through. You got 3 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull it through the first 2 loops. Then you're going to yarn over and pull it through the second 2 loops. That's a double crochet. We're going to put our row marker in the top of that stitch right there because that's where we'll fasten off when we get done and go all the way around. Now the next thing you're going to do is you're going to do a single crochet in the next stitch. So right here you're going to do a single crochet. So put your hook through there, yarn over and pull it through. You got 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull it through both loops on your hook. That's a single crochet. Into the next stitch you're going to do a double crochet. So yarn over and pull it through. Yarn over and pull it through both loops, and then yarn over and pull it through both loops. Now you're going to do a single crochet. So you're going to alternate all the way around. Double crochet, single crochet, double crochet, single crochet. Do that all the way around, doing 1 stitch into each of the ones beneath it. So I'm going to do a single crochet now, and then the next stitch a double crochet, and keep that going all the way around. And then when you get to the last stitch all the way around here, you're going to join it with a slip stitch. And that's the first round of the body. Then what you're going to do is chain 1, double crochet, single crochet, double crochet, single crochet, and alternate all the way around. And I'll see you in just a little bit as we grow our hat, the body of our hat, and I'll show you how to fasten off and put the little topper on top. You can do the little character if you buy the kit that I have, or you can put a pom-pom on top, or none at all. The hat, I've measured it out, and it is, you can see here on my measuring table, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 inches in length from crown to brim. This is my last stitch, and I did a single crochet. Take my row marker out, and we're going to do a slip stitch into the top of that stitch that we started with and pull it through. Now I'm going to take my scissors and cut a pretty good size yarn tail there, and I'm going to yarn over, and then I'm going to pull that yarn all the way through that loop, and then I'm going to take that yarn and I'm going to pull it tight. Okay, now I'm going to get my yarn needle, and I'm going to sew up this tail and finish off. And what I like to do is I'm going to turn it inside out a little bit here. I like to go into the stitch that I just made, and it hides that little knot there where I finished off. And now I'm going to follow the pattern of my stitches and just weave in this tail, and no one will be able to see it. I'm going to go up a couple of inches this direction, and then I'm going to turn around and go back the other way and cut off that tail and make sure it's just secure. No one will ever know that that tail is there. I'm going to come back the other way, a couple of stitches, and go back this way, and I'm going to just do one more. I always like to make sure that yarn tail is in there really good. And just pull it up a little bit, snip off that tail, and there's your hat. Now we're going to put the little cat on top. With the instruction little wrapper sheet, on the back came this little styrofoam round little thing here. And you pop out that little middle, and you're going to have two little holes. And it came with this to be able to give this something to mount on from the inside. I'm going to clip off this little tag here. Because I don't want that to be flapping around. Okay, so this is going to go inside the hat in here. And we're going to pull our yarn through this and just tie it on the inside. So I'm going to take my yarn needle and I'm going to put this ribbon on here. The back of it is where we did our increase to our next row. So I'm going to let that be the back and let this little cat, want it to face the front here. So all I'm going to do is stick this yarn through there and pull it through. Now I'm going to put the other piece of yarn ribbon on there. Make sure his head's facing, facing the way I want him to be. Through on the opposite side of that crown. And pull that yarn through. And now we're going to take that and stick that through here. Pull the yarn through there. And let's see if I can get it through there without the needle. Yeah, I can. Pull it through there. And all we're going to do right here on top is make sure my cat's facing the right way. There we go. Alright, we're going to take our yarn and we're going to tie a knot right there securely. And I'm going to go ahead and cut it off there. And there's our little cap. We can turn up the little edge here if we want to. All done. And here is my other one with the pom-pom. You would do the pom-pom the same way. Just tie it how I did mine. I draw it through there and I tied it, and then I sewed my yarn tails right into the inside of the cap so you can't even see it. I don't have a little fancy little plastic thing like this kit has together, so you can see how the pom-pom's nice and secure, and you can do your own pom-pom or have the hat without it. Totally cute. Love them. Love them, love them. So thank you for watching. And make sure to hit that subscribe button. There'll be more videos coming soon. Have a great, wonderful, blessed day.